Today I'm going to show you how you can set up your Wix database, displaying that content to your visitors, as well as have them able to filter based on a dropdown. What's up, you guys? Thanks for tuning in with your boy Nino, and I got a tutorial for you guys today on how you can set up your Wix database, as well as display that content in that database, and also filter based on a dropdown. It's pretty cool. It's a little challenging, but overall, I think you guys are really gonna like it. And if you like this, hey, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you never miss another Wix tutorial like this one right now. So let's go ahead and jump in and check this thing out. All right, so basically I'm in the development mode, as you can see here, guys. So if you just go to development mode, you can turn that development mode on, okay? And I just created a page here. You can actually come over here to your main pages, and this icon, plus icon, will show up, and then you can just click add a page. Okay, so the way that I did this here, I have a drop down here, okay? And so what I'm doing with this drop down is filtering out contents, okay? So this is continents. So basically we're gonna be looking up countries inside of a continent that, you know, this business helps out globally, okay? So basically what we have to do here is add a drop down. So you just come over here to this add button, and you just come over to input, and then this is where you can go to drop down, okay? And then you can go ahead and drag that sucker over, and that it is history, okay? And then also I have this other strip here with a loading strip. This is just to share with the visitor that the information is loading, so that way we can display this upon the change of this drop down. And then also we have our repeater here. And as you can see, I have this connected to a data set. All right, so this data set right here, how you get this data set onto your page is by just coming up here to your add button again, and then scrolling down to content manager. Here you can actually go ahead and click dataset, and then this thing will pop up empty, and then you can go to your settings here, and then you can actually look within your databases here and see which one you want to pick out, okay? So basically that is it. And then also you have this elements here of rich content, and I'm actually going to be explaining that into another tutorial, so definitely stay tuned for that. But if you don't know about datasets and you really want to know a little bit more about datasets and how you can connect that to your repeater, then definitely check out my video in the right hand corner as I speak right now, because this video will actually help you understand what is going on in this video right now. So definitely go ahead and piggyback off of that, because I'm not going to be going way too much into detail about data collections, okay? So as you can see here, you have this content manager section here. And like I said, you could just go ahead and click this add button and it will add it to your site. Now, as you can see here, you can manage your content. This will actually bring up the window of your content manager. So you can definitely see that, but also you have this settings, okay? So you have your data set settings, and here we have countries. So basically you just click this and then look for the specific collection that you're looking for. Okay, this is the database name. This is just going to be shown here as just a nomenclature, you know, just a naming convention here just for your element. And then also you want to have read only, and then the number of items to display, I put it at 6, okay? And also you have a filter and a sort, which I'm not going to really get into. Like I said, that's in my other tutorial, so definitely check it out. So basically that is how you can go ahead and connect that. Now let's go ahead and start over here with the repeater. So what I did here was I clicked on the repeater, and then I just went over to this connect to data. I went to connect to data, and based on the elements and the components that are within this repeater, you can go ahead and select each one of these here and connect them to a specific field key in your data set. Okay, so you can click here and you can click connect to the country's data set, and then this will be the country's name here. Okay, so basically you have all of these different other field names here, and also you can have an option to not connect it, all right? But basically all these field options are here, and so go ahead and connect your field options based on your data set and how you want everything to roll out. Okay, but here I have my country name. And then for the text below here, I have the continent, just so that you guys can see that the continent is actually correct and up to date. And then we have the background image. Okay, this is just an image of the country and the beautifulness of, you know, basically who they are supporting here globally. Okay, I don't do anything with the button right now because I'm not going to go into dynamic data sets, but I will be going into dynamic data sets in the near future. So definitely stay tuned for that as well. That button here, you can be able to get connected via another page, and this will take you to the actual country page that lists all the information about that country. So stay tuned for that. I'll actually do like a piggyback video off of this one just to show you guys how that can happen. But as for now, we're just gonna head over to our code panel here. Okay, and so basically what we have here is an onReady function. Okay, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be doing a lot of backend stuff. So this will give you more of an advanced layout of like how to gather your information from the backend so that then it is protected. Okay, so basically let's go ahead and get started with the code. So let me go ahead and plop this code in and type it out, and then I'm going to further explain it. Okay, so let me go ahead and give me some more room here. All right, so basically what I'm doing here is I'm grabbing the continents. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm actually dropping this information into the drop-down list here. Okay, so these continents here, if there is anything that comes from this is like a fail-safe method. So if there isn't anything in the continents here while we're going through the sync function, then nothing will show up here, and then we're not going to have a drop-down menu. Okay, so the drop-down will just be its own choices here that is showing nothing. Okay, so basically it would show nothing, and that means I would know there's something wrong with the backend data. Okay, so what it's doing here is this is in a sync function. This is going to put this in a succinct order. Okay, a sequential step process. All right, so basically it's going to wait for this function to finish running, and then it's going to come down to the if statement. This if statement is saying if the continents has something in here, but also we got to check to see if it's an array, because in the backend you have an error code that you can return so that then you can see exactly what's happening on the front end. Okay, but as for now, I'm just going to go ahead and say, is this an array? All right, so we do array.isArray, and then we put continents in there. If it is an array, we're gonna put that into the options list for the dropdown. And these options will be the continents displayed, all right? And then for this dropdown onChange method here, we're going to be filtering based on that drop-down value. Okay, so what I have here is a try statement. This try statement actually helps because then if anything errors out or something goes wrong within the try statement, then this console log will show that information readily available. Okay, that way you actually know in real time if something is happening to your function. All right, so inside of this function here, we have a collapsing of the column strip 6. So that is this right here with our repeater. And then we're having a column strip 4 expanding. So this is our loading strip. So this is going to be showing our visitors that the information is loading right now. Now, based on the drop-down event change, you can actually use this so-called event parameter to actually bring out the value instead of having to go ahead and, you know, let's see, like instead of you having to do this whole method of, oh, let me go ahead and put this drop down and then say dot value. Instead, what you can do is this right here, event.target, and the target is this drop down or whatever the target may be, the onChange. So the target would be the drop down, and then you just say value. Okay, So this is the same exact thing as drop down value right here. So you can use this for any type of event methods, but I will say that make sure that you understand how events work. But basically this is just a little bit more intermediate, but I'm just trying to share this with anybody just to get them acclimated to using their events within the onChange or the onClick or onDoubleClick and etc. All the event handlers, okay? And then here what I'm doing is I'm collecting the time of when this is actually being filtered. So basically one of my viewers actually spoke out to me and they were asking about, you know, my filter information is not showing up correctly, right? My repeater is showing before everything gets filtered. So it shows all of my data and I don't want that. So basically what I did here was I did a .then method here. So this .then method will actually run after everything has been set by the filter. So right here, that is why I'm doing the time, because it actually shows the date and time of like when this thing was happening. So as you can see here, we have filter, Wix data filter, and then also we have the value does not equal to this parameter. And I will actually go into that a little bit more when I go into the backend code. But right now, this is just going ahead and grabbing the value that we set up here. And we're actually going to filter based off of the continent, okay? This is case sensitive, so make sure that you actually put in the right value in here, okay? This contains means that it just finds whatever is in the data set within that field, okay? So if you have the word the, right? And then you have the word there, it's gonna pick up both of those, okay? So make sure you understand about what contains means versus what equals means, okay? So here you can go ahead and put the filter inside of here. This will be the filter code that I created here, okay? Filter equals filter.contains. This is just tacking on based on this Wix data.filter, okay? And then in the .then here, this is where we'll show the repeater. And then also I will show you that this is pulling out the correct value and also the options that are coming with that dropdown. So I have in here, if the value is this character, the dash character, then we're gonna go ahead and collapse this and then expand the column strip 6, okay? If it doesn't equal that. If it does, we're gonna collapse everything because nothing is there to show, all right? And then within, and then outside of this .then, after everything is completed for the set filter, then we'll show you the time. And you'll know actually in real time that the time 3 comes before the time 2. So it's gonna say time 1, time 3, and then time 2, because it takes a while for this filter to be set. And then also you can see that it's waiting for this filter to be set, all right? And then the catch error is here, and this will show you the error of the running code, all right? So let's go ahead and hop on over to the backend. And I'm gonna actually paste the code down so that we can actually go through that as well. So I'm actually here in my backend code file, and actually how I did this here was I just went up to this add button and I clicked new folder. I created that as dev, and then I created a new folder within that here. And then I created my web module, okay? My JSW. All right, this JSW is actually the connector from your front end, which is what your visitors will see, and connect it to your backend, okay? So right here, what we're gonna do is just a simple find, okay, of the continents. And this will be uploading into our dropdown, all right? So basically, I'm going to go ahead and put in the code right now. All right, and it's that simple. You just have an import, and you're importing this from the getflow.js, okay? And that is the backend JavaScript code. And all you have to do is return the active continents, okay? We're not actually putting anything into this function, so that is why I have this as blank inside of here. But if we wanted to, you know, say for instance, have options here, we could actually put the options in here, and we could actually push that into the backend for our code to do based on whatever we want it to do, okay? So now let's go ahead and get that flow. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and drop down this code to show the active continent. All right, so as you can see here, I'm using Wix data. And in this Wix data, I'm going to my continents database and I'm actually seeing if one of these things are active, okay? The reason why I put this in here is so that you can have version control. So if you were to say that, oh, I don't want to have this continent to show, right? It won't show that continent if you put it as false, all right? So this is just a Boolean field that is able to do change management in real time. And then you have the .find, and then you have the .then, which this will come after. The res will be the information that has been pulled from the query. So you do if res, if there's anything in there. And then you say res.items.length is greater than 0. Then let's go ahead and return that information here, okay? And as you can see, I am actually making a element that is going into the res items and doing a mapping to actually make this be returned as just label and value. This is the actual layout for the options dropdown list, okay? So make sure you understand that. And also I did an unshift, and this is actually putting this whole like value here in the front of all of these other items that may be in your list. That way we can actually have this be the same as here. So if you need to, exit out your selection, this is the way that you can do it. All right, you can actually name this whatever you want here, but I just did this so that I can show you that it won't show the repeater if it equals this dash, okay? And then also if it gets down here, that means that it did not go into this if statement and that it throws and it says no items are available. That will then go into the catch and then that will return the error, okay? So we have two returns here. We have returning the data and then we have returning the error. And that is why I was saying back on here that if it isn't an array, we know that we can do something else because this is where the error is supposed to be, right? So if we wanted to, we could say else, and we could put in parentheses here, and this would be our error. All right, so basically I'm not gonna put anything in there right now, but basically that's what would happen. All right, so what this flow is doing here is it's going into find continents, okay, from this app. All right, and we're going to put it in as a backend flow. And then what we do here is we go here to our backend, we go ahead and label this as GTF, get the flow, okay? And so what we're gonna do here is get the flow from the active continents, all right? And that is our function, our export function here. Also, a little caveat, I just want to say that what is so cool about what Wix has to offer is that this little button here is a tester button. So all you can do is just click test and you can click this run button and you can view the output right here. As you can see, it displays the output and it returned with my elements here, my 8 elements, which there are 7 consonants. And then this is my label here. As you can see, the unshift correctly worked. And then also you have Australia and all of the other different continents displayed here. I really think this sets apart Wix a lot when it comes to developing and all of that. So definitely try this out. So that is pretty cool. I just really think that is so awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to this tutorial. So basically we have everything in order and in display. Now let's go ahead and head on over to the data set. All right, so we're gonna go over to the database and we're gonna go to continents. All right, we're gonna click on continents and it's gonna bring us to our content manager. And in this content manager, as you can see, I have an is active, okay? So basically what we can do is we can go ahead and click North America off, and then we can click South America off, Asia, and yeah, let's just keep it like that. So basically all we will see is Central America, Australia, Europe, and Africa. All right. So if we exit out of here and we go back to our test, as you can see here, we can click run and all it's returning is those 5 elements. Okay. So basically we have Central America, Australia, Europe, in Africa, okay? Based on what is active. So that is what key feature I like to put into all of my databases so that then there can be some version control. Now they also do have a cool little feature that I'm gonna go into later on in another tutorial. I keep saying that, but stay tuned for it. And it's all about the drafts and published like content. So they actually have that within their collections here. If you go here to edit settings, you can go to your additional settings and you can see this is a toggle button for draft and publish items, okay? And also they have the number of items. So if you wanna have just a single item, it can actually display that single item, all right? So just be cautious about how you add your database and make sure that you have the correct parameters on there. Okay, so let's go ahead back into the continents and let's go ahead and check all the boxes here for active. And then we're going to go ahead and preview this bad boy. So as you can see, everything has been loaded up, and let's go ahead and check out our continents. And as you can see, our continents information is displaying into our Dropdown box. So that means the sync and await worked, okay? It went into the backend and grabbed that data to display here. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out Africa. And as you can see, the loading display is showing, and then boom, our information is shown. Awesome content here. You can see the different locations that they support and do business with. If you want to go to North America, you can see the information here about Mexico, Canada, USA, and so on. So as you can see, our database is working, and this is a pretty cool feature that Wix has to offer with everything. We were able to use Wix data and the datasets collection on the page to filter out our content. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Definitely give it a shot. And if you have any questions, drop it below. Thanks you so much for watching, you guys. And if you like this video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you in the next video, guys. All right, ciao. Oh, wait, and before you go, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more great tutorials every weekend. Also, check out my website to find other tips and tricks about Wix. This helps us do what we do, and this channel is supported by the viewers just like you. You can also click the thumbnail and watch another video from this channel. See you in the next video, guys. Okay, ciao.